Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and today we're going to be doing a full-on review and tutorial of every single piece in the new Fenty Beauty Galaxy Collection. I picked all of this up on Friday and it's Tuesday right now. I'm just getting to filming this. I gotta be quicker with Fenty, especially all of this new product. Like, you don't even get a chance to try it out when you're an influencer. You just gotta, if you take your time to actually try out these products, nobody cares anymore. You have to get your review or your first impression really up as soon as possible. Otherwise, you don't get the buzz. So I'm trying to get this up relatively quickly. This collection really surprised me because it came out real quick. I mean, Fenty Beauty only launched what, like a month ago, maybe? At most a month ago. They announced their holiday collection, the Galaxy Collection, 2 weeks later, I feel like. It was very quick. The second that I saw the photos and the video promoting this on the Fenty Beauty Instagram, I was hooked. Everything is holographic packaging. The palette itself is all very sparkly and shimmery. These are all things that I love. There's enough mattes in the world right now. There's enough longwear liquid lip products, matte lip products. I am all about the shimmer. I'm all about fun things like that. So this collection called to me. So I made sure to go to Sephora on Friday and get all of it. I actually wasn't planning to get all of it until I saw it, and then I decided to get all of it. It was a big purchase. This collection includes 4 lipsticks, 4 lip glosses, 3 dual eyeliners, those are really interesting, and then an eyeshadow palette. The first thing I want to talk about here, because it's the most unique to me, are the eyeliners. One of which is incredibly unique and I don't think I have ever seen before, ever. These are called 2-in-1 glitter release eyeliners. And they're called that because you can apply them like normal and they will look like just your everyday matte eyeliner, or once they dry you can kind of rub them with your finger or a brush and it's going to show the sparkle. They're very, very similar to the Ciate glitter reveal lipsticks, I don't remember what they're called, that came out like a month ago, where you would smack your lips together and all of a sudden the glitter would show. It's very similar to that, but for an eyeliner. For all of these swatches, I'm going to be applying these to my eyes just like this, kind of creating a cat eye, showing you what it looks like on its own, and then showing you what it looks like with the glitter. The first color is Alien Bay. Alien Bay is a blue-black metallic with a smoky navy glitter. So you can see when I apply it, it definitely looks mostly matte. And then if you just lightly go over it with your fingers, you start to see that glitter really come through. And it's a very unique idea. It gives you some creativity here because you can make the entire wing be super glittery. You don't have to do it at all. You can just do the wing tip, anything you want. It's pretty cool. The next shade is Nepturnt. Some of these names are a little much for me, I'm not gonna lie. Nepturnt is a green-black metallic with a smoky emerald glitter. So both Alien Bay and Nepturnt look very similar when you apply them and you don't release the glitter. So if you were just getting this for a black liner, the color really doesn't matter here, but once you kind of blend it out, there's definitely a difference. There's a much brighter green in Nepturnt and a blue in Alien Bay. I find this interesting though because Neptune is definitely blue and aliens are generally received as green. So they're like switched in my brain, but whatever. The last shade is by far the most unique shade. It's something I've never seen in a liquid liner. Maybe I'm crazy, but I can't remember seeing a nude liquid liner before. This is called Later Crater. This is a nude metallic and then it has a nude gold glitter. So this was something that I picked up thinking, what on earth am I going to use this for? But once I applied it like I did in this video, I was like, okay, this is unique for sure, but I kind of like it. And especially once I made the glitter show through, it was so beautiful with that bright, super sparkly glitter. It's so unique and I am all about unique new stuff, which is probably why I really like these liners so much. The applicator is also a brush, a very long brush. So for me, that's what I generally love to apply liner with. I prefer this over felt tip liners, so I was all about that right from the get-go. The Later Crater shade, this nude shade, really surprised me because it is almost a little bit mauvey as well, and it's just, I don't know, I've never seen a nude liquid liner, so of course I had to get it. Next, let's talk about the eyeshadow palette. The eyeshadow palette is called the Galaxy palette. It has this holographic, almost oil spill finish on it where the edges are purple and it kind of fades into blue and then green and then yellow in the center. The one thing though to note, fingerprints show up immediately on all of these. So unless you're wearing plastic gloves all the time, this is going to get so smudged and look so not cool. And I cleaned this. I cleaned the front of this when I did the close-up picture, and I used a little bit of Windex, and that was basically yesterday. So I've used this one time and it looks like that. And all of the lipsticks have that same packaging and they also look like that. I mean, as pretty as the packaging looks, when it starts to look like a 2-year-old got a hold of it, not cute. When you open up the palette, you get a really nice mirror, and it doesn't need palette Viagra, you guys. If you're new here, palette Viagra is when you get a palette and it has a mirror, but then it just goes flat. And it kind of is like, what am I supposed to do with that? This one has a perfect, it's almost I think it's like a 45 little, yeah, it's like a 45-degree angle, which is absolutely perfect for if you are just holding it, or if it's on a table, you can see yourself. That's really important to me, because what's the point of a mirror if it's not going to hold itself up? Inside, you get 14 eyeshadows that are in a kind of a diamond pattern. You get 3, 4, 3, 4, and they're all turned a little bit, which I like. I mean, they're just your everyday square eyeshadow, but the fact that they are turned like that makes it a little bit more visually appealing, a little bit different. All sorts of shades here. You've got warm tones, cool tones, neutrals, all sorts. But the thing to keep in mind here is that all of the colors are incredibly shimmery. This is not a palette that you want to get if you think that you're going to use it on its own. I think it's definitely a palette for somebody who has a lot of mattes and wants to bump up the colors a little bit and change up what they already have. This is a palette that you would use in addition to another palette. So if you think this is a palette that you'll use just on its own, of course you can, but it's support. It's not the main actor. It's the supporting role here. I did some swatches for you guys. These are all brush swatches. I apologize that they're not live swatches. My setup right now doesn't really let me do that without it being incredibly difficult. Hopefully in the future that is something that can happen, but I want to explain these swatches to you. So I did the first 2 rows to begin with, and then I did the second 2 rows, and I swatched each of the shadows twice. The first time, the top layer is going to be over Urban Decay Primer Potion, just a normal primer. The second, the bottom layer, is going to be over Violet Voss Glitter Adhesive. I did this because I wanted to show you the difference in how much a base impacts these eyeshadows. It's almost like the Urban Decay Moonstone eyeshadows that came out last year. They're going to be very sheer. They're not going to have much of a back pigment. It's just going to be a lot of shimmer. But if you apply them over something that has a little bit of a grip to it, like the Violet Voss Glitter Adhesive, then you can really get them to show up incredibly pigmented. So the first swatches, like I said, these are the first 2 rows. The first color is called Extraterrestrial, and then we have Light Year and Planet X. Then you have Ozone, Ultraviolet, Sublime, and Milky Way. So you can see how these look over the primer, and then you can see how they look over the glitter adhesive. Some of them work well on their own. They aren't terrible, but there are other ones, like for example Sublime, which is the green in the second row, that's incredibly sheer on its own, but when you apply it over the glitter adhesive, you could see the color just pops and it really becomes incredibly pigmented. So the next row probably has many of my favorite eyeshadows in this palette. First shade is Cosmic Ocean, which is just stunning. And then we have Meteor Crush, Jupiter Sand, Mars on Fire, Midnight Bolt, Space Out, and then Sunburst. Again, you can see the bottom row just is so much more pigmented. And both of these techniques, using it over a primer or using it over a glitter adhesive, work depending on how much pigmentation and how much pop you want with these colors. If you want just a little bit of shimmer, you can use them just on their own, but if you really want them to shine, using them over a glitter adhesive is pretty important. So really the thing to remember here is that this palette, to get the most out of it, you need to have something for it to grab onto so that the glitter and shimmer in it really can be as intense as possible. I really wish that Fenty Beauty came out with some sort of primer, sticky primer for this palette, because I can see a lot of people, a lot of consumers looking at this and going, what do I do? This doesn't have pigmentation, it's just shimmery mess all over. And as long as you take your time with it and really use the correct things with it, it's going to be a supporting member of your eyeshadow look, not necessarily the main event. I think, or featuring, that's what I should say. It's like your eyeshadow look featuring the Galaxy palette. So it's like a special guest. You also can just take a little bit of it and pop it on top of other eyeshadows to make that eyeshadow shimmery. I think that it really, really will shine if you have matte eyeshadows to use it with, and then if you have some sort of sticky base, glitter adhesive, eyeliner, whatever, that will make the color really shine. Moving on, let's talk about the lipsticks. So these are called the Starlit Hyper Glitz lipsticks. They are described as being buildable to the ultimate jewel chrome finish. The packaging on here is exactly the same as the eyeshadows in the sense that they will look super, super smudgy real quick. They're super slim. They have FB imprinted on the top, which will disappear immediately after you apply this to your lips. They're incredibly sparkly, which is always really, really fun. The first shade is called Supermoon. This is a sparkling peach, which is literally my go-to. I love peach lip colors just so much. So this is 100% my jam. I love this color. Next we have Supanova. This is a twinkling pink orchid. Supanova is almost is lilac-y. It's very light, but it has purple tones going on in it. And then we have Gravity, which is a shimmering hot pink. This one is kind of a blue-based pink, so it's a little bit on the lighter side. Lots of sparkle in this one as well. This is just beautiful. Oh my gosh. I am all about the shimmeriness going on here. The last shade is called Sci-Fly, which is described as a glimmering garnet. This is by far the darkest shade, but even just looking at this, the glitter in it is just so stunning. Stunning! These have a really nice feel on the lips, they glide on really nicely, and I do see that buildable aspect, where if you just apply them quickly, it's going to be very sheer, but you can keep building to get more pigmentation. And then of course, if you want to really bump up the sparkliness of them, you incorporate the next bad boys, which are the glosses. These are called the Cosmic Gloss Lip Glitters, and oh my gosh, I am 100% for them. They're very similar to me to MAC Dazzle Glass, which I remember when MAC Dazzle Glass first came out and it blew me away. It was so cool to see these beautiful, super lush, juicy lip glosses with this amazing sparkle going on. So I'm all for these. The shades here really mimic the lipsticks, so you definitely can pair them together, which I think is nice. The first shade is called Spacesuit and is a glittering peach. This I could wear every day of my life. So it's a peachy gloss with a gold glitter that shifts into this beautiful, vibrant pink, and it's just makes me so happy. I literally could wear this every day of my life. Like, this is a nude, not nude, but this is for me, this is an everyday color. Next we have Plutonic Relationship. This is a holographic hot pink and is stunning. This has a lot of that blue shift, that blue glitter in it, so it gives you this just very bubblegum, very, very fun color, very Barbie bubblegum, but with that blue shift, it makes it something really special. Then we have Gala on the Moon, which is described as a holographic pink orchid. I think that's accurate. This has a lot of purple tones in it. It's definitely quite a bit darker than the pink shade I feel like it matches with from the lipsticks, but it's just, oh my gosh, so stunning. Also has that blue glitter shift in it, just so glossy. I love it, love it. And then finally we have Astronaut E. Astronaut E is described as a glittering garnet and pretty much is tit for tat with the lipstick. This one looks like jewels when you apply it. It has so much sparkle and so much shine. It's so beautiful. What I really love about these is they are not sticky at all. They don't feel heavy. They don't feel like they're weighing you down. And you don't have to use a lot to really get that glossy goodness going on. I also love the applicator because the applicator is quite long and has some give to it. Because it has that give, it's gonna easily glide on. So overall, I think that this collection is really special, but you gotta like glittery, shimmery products. If you don't, there is nothing here for you. Even though the eyeliners can be matte, there's really no reason for you to get them because you can get any matte black liner. So the real special thing is that shift, that magic glitter showing up. I wish I loved the packaging. I loved it when I opened it, but honestly, just seeing these in the light looks so gross right now. It's making me a little bit frustrated with them. And the thing that sucks is the only way to get them clean is with a cleaning product. If you just go over it with a tissue or a makeup wipe or anything like that, it's just going to make it look very fuzzy and look even dirtier, really, or it's just going to blur out the smudges so that you don't see like legitimate fingerprints, you just see a smudge. Because the packaging is so gorgeous and it's really one of the things that drew me into this collection, and then for it to be that dirty so quickly kind of is a bummer. I think the shining stars here are the nude liner in Later Crater. This is such a unique product. Like I've mentioned 10 times in this video, I don't think I've ever seen a nude liner. And just the fact that those have that glitter just show up is really cool. So the liners in general are special, but the nude one especially cool. And I think it's already sold out on Sephora.com, so check your local Sephoras. I also will say that I really like the eyeshadow palette. It can't be denied that it definitely has its shortfalls in the sense that it's not a cohesive one palette only type of palette that a lot of people look for. It's not going to have everything that you need because you're going to need, like I have, other elements to bring it all together and to really make them. And then of course the Cosmic Gloss lip glitters are just so cool. Those aren't entirely unique. If you have something like MAC Dazzle Glass, which is a permanent product in the MAC line, they're very similar to that. I think that these are slightly less sticky than MAC Dazzle Glass. You don't feel grit at all, which is awesome. They are nice because they have so much pigmentation in them along with that shimmer. So I think that's all for my review. I'm going to go ahead and push you on into the tutorial for this look that I'm wearing right now. I'm mixing the Sephora Pro palette, the Editorial one, and one eyeshadow I think from the Warm Sephora Pro palette, and then using some of the warmer shades and the blue shades for my look from the Galaxy palette. I just realized I'm not using any of the liners in this look, but I don't really want to. There's so much sparkle going on that they wouldn't really shine, and you got to see what they look like in the review portion, so I don't feel so bad about that now. Anyways, enjoy. I really hope that you like this look and this video. I'm starting off this look using a primer, and then I'm setting it with a powder. Real simple. I probably didn't need to set it with a powder though, I realized that in hindsight. And then I'm taking the Sephora Warm palette and I'm just using this transitioning color. This is the only time I'm using that palette, so really you could use whatever you have on hand. Next, I'm going to be using the Sephora Pro Editorial palette. I'm using this hot pink, this reddish hot pink. This color ended up being kind of a pain in the ass, so I recommend not using the setting powder because it's what made it really difficult. I ended up having to go in with an extra primer to make everything stick because you could see right here it started to get patchy. But with a little time and effort, it blended out, and it's such a cool color that I was okay with the effort. To blend out the crease, I'm using this medium peachy orange shade in the crease, just on the edges of this to have it kind of blend out a little orangey. And then I'm using the Violet Voss glitter adhesive on the inner half of my lid. This is really important because I want these Fenty Beauty eyeshadows to be super, super glittery pigmented. The first color I'm using from the Galaxy palette is Meteor Crush, which is this beautiful peachy golden shimmer, and it really works well with the glitter adhesive because you could see it just pulls that color. I'm also taking Mars on Fire and putting it just on the edges of the shimmery Meteor Crush to make sure that it blends out nicely into the pink so that there's no harsh edges with the glitter. I'm going back to the Editorial palette and using this very, very matte, bright white to blend out the edges and under my brows. And then I'm taking Ozone from the Galaxy palette and putting it right under my brows as a brow highlight. I'm going to be using a blue shade underneath my eyes, so I'm using a light blue eyeliner pencil as my base for the lower lash line. And then I'm taking Cosmic Ocean and applying it right over top. I want to have a really bright inner corner, so I'm taking a nude eyeliner and then popping on Milky Way, which is a very bright ivory, and just pressing that right on top so it gives that brightness. And I'm also just pulling it into the inner crease just a little bit. I'm putting a navy liner on my lash line, or my waterline really, and then I'm using my mascara just on my lower lashes because I still got my lash extensions on, going on 2 weeks now. I feel like I'm over them, but I'm going to do a review on them. Moving on to the lips, I'm using Gravity, the Hyper Glitz lipstick on the outer edges of my lips, and then on the inner part of my lips I'm using Supermoon, so it kind of gives a little bit of an ombre look. Then I'm going to apply the Cosmic Gloss Lip Glitter in the exact opposite way. So I'm using Spacesuit on the inner part of my lips, and then I'm just going to take Plutonic Relationship and apply it over top of the lipstick in the outer corners. And that is my Fenty Beauty Galaxy Collection look. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you plan on picking up this collection, anything that are your faves, if you want to see more tutorials, and I'll see you next time.